nights are hot. It is a house of both females and males. Both young and old. For the disco, the DJ plays your favorite blast, takes it back to the past. Music's magic. Poof, hump, hump, bump, get bumped with some class. People.
Lance Taylor was an American DJ, rapper, and producer. And normally, when I say was in these circumstances, it's because they've died. In this case, it's not. It's because he's retired. And he worked under the name Afrika Bambaataa. He was important in the early years of hip hop in the 70s, and he basically tried to turn his street gang that he was in the Bronx into a music and cultural organization called the Universal Zulu Nation. He gathered around him several rapping crews, one of which was Soulsonic Force, who then released as Afrika Bambaataa and Soulsonic Force one album, I think, which was Planet Rock. Hi, my name's Dan, and this is a review of Planet Rock, the album by Afrika Bambaataa and Soulsonic Force, which was released in 1986 and was, I think, the only album that was credited as Afrika Bambaataa and Soulsonic Force. It's possible that the same collection of people released another album but under a different name. It was all quite fluid at the time. And this is my first time listening to this. So I would describe this as old school hip hop. And basically, this is the sort of style of stuff of hip hop when I first encountered it, which was around this sort of time, maybe a little bit earlier, and people like Grandmaster Flash. This album is a compilation of previous singles, including the successful single Planet Rock, which was apparently one of the first big hits from hip hop. I would, so describing the music, if you haven't, immediately got hold of what this must be like from that big beaty beats. Now, I seem to be very fond of this word beaty at the moment. By that, I mean kind of forceful and quite bombastic sounding rhythms. Predominantly, maybe entirely made by using the Roland TR-808 drum machine, which was a classic sound, and you can spot a lot of these sounds in quite a bit of music of this time, and then it's been used in the future as well to kind of be nostalgic for this particular sound. Also, I think, but I don't know for sure, that they're using a Fairlight CMI here as well, which was an early and hugely influential sampler. And just kind of thinking about the time that this is, that was really this was the go-to sampler at the time. And it's definitely got samples like orchestral hits in here. The musical backing that goes alongside the drum machine stuff. The drum machine stuff is quite complex and multifaceted. And then the musical stuff is often quite simple going along with that, and often kind of single note lines, little bits of ornamentation. There is some female backing singing here, but mostly the focus here is on the rapping. And that's from this crew of people. So Afrika Bambaataa, and then these are all, of course, not their real names, or not their birth names, let's put it that way. Mr. Biggs, Pow Wow, the GLOBE, and DJ Jazzy J. I have no way of knowing when I'm listening to it who is who. Somebody who knows them really well might be able to spot them, and some of it you can get a little bit from context of what they're singing. So the sound here is quite a nostalgic feel for me. As I say, it reminds me of the emergence of hip hop. Whilst I was in my university years, I was exposed to things like Grandmaster Flash and Nucleus. I don't know how well known they were. The flows here on this album are decent. Again, it's that kind of feel of it's kind of pushing this rap that's kind of pushed out quite strong. It's not shouty, but it is quite staccato and strongly done. It's quite. It's quite. It's not quite aggressive, but it's certainly assertive. There's the occasional rude word in here, but not many. Most of the content is about partying and about being awesome rappers. So that's obviously been established very early in rappers as one of the go-to subjects. And there's a couple more with more social commentary stuff in here, but the content is not heavy or particularly serious for most of the part. For me, for a hip hop album, it went down quite well, but it's still hip hop. And hip hop is not my hometown. It's kind of a place that I visit sometimes, and I feel like, a little bit, as I say, nostalgia for this, but it's not something that is ever gonna, I think, unless it's really exceptional, gonna light me up and really impress me or make it something that I really enjoy listening to. So that's what I think of this album. But as always, I'd love to know what you think. If you've got anything to say about my review, about the album, about the circumstances, about old school hip hop, about the weather, even if you like, please do leave me a comment. But that's it from me for now.